Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel. My name is Cecilia and this is Sauce Cilia. I am going to be having a lunch today. I'm at work working on a mural. You can see some of it back there. It's a little fun watercolor mural that I've been working on for the last few days. Anyway, I'm taking a lunch break and I thought I'd share it with you guys. So I picked up a sushi donut from this really tasty place that I like to go to. They're just walking distance from here. It's called Wasabi Sushi PDX. So I'm going to be sharing that with you today. I got a seared salmon donut. It's one of my favorite items. It's just like a quick bite, sort of an item. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. So it's kind of like in the shape of a donut, but it's really just rice. And then there's like seared salmon. So it's like lightly seared on top, not all the way through. And it's actually stuffed with crab. And then there's like a little sauce on top that's just like, it's got a little bit of a kick, but it's like tiny. And then it has sprinkled sesame seeds and a little bit of seaweed, and then it has a piece of seaweed on the bottom to kind of help with everything. I get these all of the time, and they're kind of messy to eat if you're trying to eat it like a donut. So I've kind of sort of given up on that dream, and I just eat it with my chopsticks. Anyway, I don't have much spice to share with everybody, but I do have some sriracha that they had there for me to share. This is one of my favorite kind of go-to sauces. I think a lot of people really enjoy that one because it's got a lot of flavor, a lot of garlic. It's got, depending on how spicy you like things, it either has a lot of spice or it's got like a good spice. For me, it's got a good spice. I have a pretty high tolerance, so I don't really taste the spice so much as I do the garlic, which is one of my favorite things about sriracha, just because it really makes your food just go to another level. So anyway, I'm gonna have a little bite. There's a little bit of the crab in there. And a bite, a dunk of my seared salmon. Yeah, so sriracha is one sauce that I've probably had most of my life that I can remember. When I was younger, we never really went out to eat. My mom always cooked at home, but we went out most Sundays to this little restaurant in Baytown, Texas. It's called Lee Palace. It was a buffet, kind of a Chinese American buffet. And we went there like every single Sunday. And that's kind of how we discovered sriracha. They had chili oil and sriracha, and then I guess chili paste. But we always got this one. And we actually sometimes would bring our own hot sauce or chilies just to make it spicier, because I guess like coming from a Mexican household, you kind of have to have more spice than what some people offer. But anyway, I've been having sriracha since I was, I don't know, maybe 6. As long as I can remember, I've always had it. So really before it became popular, we used to take it to Mexico. We used to go to Mexico every year to visit family, and we started taking hot sauces every once in a while, and everybody loved this one. What we kind of referred to it was chile chino, was like Chinese chili, but it's not even Chinese, it's actually Vietnamese. That's just what we called it. Our aunts would often ask us to bring some of it because when they tried it, it was really something different for them to try. In Mexico, there's all kinds of sauces and hot salsas and hot sauces, and so many varieties of chili. it was kind of fun to bring a different spice to a country or to some family that already has like 80 options kind of just in society. So it's always fun to share it. Now, it has become pretty popular around the world, specifically this, I guess, the Rooster brand. So you can probably find it in most countries. If not that brand, you can probably just get a different variety of it. Although in my experience, some of the imitation sauces aren't that great. Sometimes they're really sweet, or like the flavors in there just don't feel very natural. This one does. This one's actually, so for it being a hot sauce, it's pretty thick. So I'm like kind of holding it with my chopstick, and it's, well, there fell a bunch, but I can like pick it up, and it's a pretty viscous sauce. I'd say it's a little bit less viscous than ketchup, but it's kind of around that level of viscosity. One thing I really like about it is that it is smooth, and it has like the smallest little texture. You can actually see some of the broken down chili flakes in the sauce, so that's a good sign, because you can tell if there's real ingredients in it. So that's always great. I don't know. How do you like to eat your sriracha? Let us know in the comments. When I was younger in university, I studied abroad in France. And let me tell you, it's really difficult to find spicy food there, especially the kind of spicy food that I liked, which tended to be more Mexican leaning. There was a lot of Arabic spice, or different, like I guess Northern Africa flavors, which I didn't necessarily know, but I was actually able to find a little Vietnamese section in town in the city of Lyon. So I used to go there for all my groceries. I would buy the chilies. They actually didn't have this brand of sriracha there, which was unfortunate, because I actually didn't like the other copies, but they did have fresh chilies and dried chilies, so I was able to make my own sauces. But when I traveled to Norway, I went to this little town called Hønefoss to visit a few friends that had studied abroad at my university, Texas Tech. Go Raiders. And there was a little Asian grocery store in that town, and they actually had this brand of sriracha. So I was so excited, and I bought 2 big bottles. That was the biggest mistake I probably made in Norway, because I should have bought like 20. Because within like 3 weeks of me being back in France, the first bottle was done for, and then the second bottle probably had already been started. So it didn't last very long. That was the sad part, but at least I had a few weeks of like overdose of sriracha. What else about sriracha? Super garlicky. Kind of a fun little fact that I had learned about it is that the city where they make it kind of got really upset, because there was such a high demand a few years ago for sriracha, or the demand just skyrocketed from like normal demand to just like way too much, because people discovered how delicious it is. Anyway, the whole town smelled of garlic, so people were really upset about it, because like the air in the city or town was garlic, which to me is kind of sounds like a dream, because garlic is delicious. But anyway, that's kind of like the last little thing. Anyway, one of my favorite things about this sushi donut is kind of like the last bite. There was that piece of seaweed I told you guys about. And so what I do is I kind of collect all of the remains. And then what I like to do is dunk it. I'm just gonna dunk it right in my sriracha, and then I'm gonna overstuff my mouth. So give me a second to overdose my mouth, and then you can watch me. I'm getting it all over the place. Flavor on sriracha is fantastic. There's a little bit of a sweetness to it, garlicky. You do taste some spice, and it's kind of like the back of your tongue, a little bit of your, and then like kind of getting into your throat. And then on the spice level, I'd say if you're not used to spice, it's probably like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. But if you have a higher tolerance, it's probably a 4. Maybe a 3. It's not that spicy, but it does come with some great flavor. So anyway, thank you guys for watching and enjoying my lunch with me today. I really appreciate it. I hope that you want to see more of what I have. You're kind of in a place right now that there's a little bit of everything that I do. So I actually have a construction company called Inside Out Creations, and I just got this new studio space, so I'm working on some watercolor walls for the space. But one of the other things that we do is we actually refinish and paint furniture. So these are some of the pieces that we've been working on lately. Just kind of had some fun color inspiration and a little bit of cow. And we actually also make earrings, which is really fun. And this particular set of earrings that I'm wearing was actually inspired by this beautiful muumuu bench. So if you want to see any of that, you can actually follow us on Instagram at insideoutcreations.world for all of our jewelry and furniture and some of the items that we get from around the world. So this is a Huichol made headband, and that comes from Mexico. I think we have one left. Anyway, there's that I do. And then there's also insideoutcreations.pdx where I post about the paint projects and the construction projects that we do. I have a team of 3, and then we have a few partners that we work with. So I do try to document all of that. So if you're interested in seeing not just Sauce Cecilia, but the rest of what Cecilia does, Cecilia's me, please follow us everywhere. It's at Saucelia, at insideoutcreations.pdx, at insideoutcreations.world. And please hit the subscribe button. Would really appreciate all of your support. All right, thank you. Have a great day, everybody.